Welcome back. Another episode, Nothing's Off the Table. I have my friend Olivia here. She is a mother. She is a wife. She is also a nurse. And I saw you on Kevin's podcast. Your story is absolutely insane. You've been through a lot, but I think one of the most important things I got from it was that you are in recovery. You've overcome addiction, adversity, a rough upbringing at times, and you're now in this great place in life. And I'm super grateful to have you on. Thanks so much for coming over today.
Thanks for having me.
So I'd love for you to start by telling us kind of where you're from, what your upbringing was like, and we can get into the nitty gritty as we go on. But I think it's important for you to start us off from the top.
Yeah, so I'm from Central Jersey, born and raised. Grew up in a middle-class to lower middle-class family. Dad was a garbage man. Mom worked retail. Regular life, played sports, have a brother, my parents owned a little house, sort of very just regular, just average family life for a while.
Did you, you went to school, you had friends, everything was kind of as normal of a childhood as you?
Status quo.
Status quo.
I always had friends, friend group. It was very average, nothing to report, nothing exciting, nothing crazy. There's a lot of people that have way worse upbringings than I did, but yeah, there's nothing jarring in the beginning that would have alerted anyone to what would come down the line.
When did you, for me as an addict, I think now looking back on my life, I started to realize that I didn't really feel comfortable in my own skin at a very young age. And there were instances of me acting out, just getting in trouble in school, the normal bullshit. But that was the telltale sign of, I don't feel okay. And obviously later on down the line, when I found drugs and alcohol, I was like, oh, this is great. This is the solution to my problem, right? Mm-hmm. This is that relief that I was seeking. Did you feel that way as a child, or how did you come about?
No, totally get that. So yeah, I did. I was very insecure, very much anxious, comparing myself to other girls, hated my body, hated the way I looked. So that was definitely a thing. In my friend group, I always felt like the other girls were prettier, skinnier, better hair, better outfits, even at a very young age, in elementary school. I'm not the only one in my friend group whose parents got divorced, and I hate sounding like this is a cop-out, because it's not. It's a divorce. It's not the end of the world, but my parents got divorced when I was 8, and then things got even worse. So kind of opposite of you in the beginning. Through early teenage years, I was a straight A student, won awards in elementary school, got almost a perfect state test score. I was just always listened, never got in trouble. Did everything right. Looked like there was a good future ahead, but at home, as it got rocky, I got rocky. Very anxious socially, but you couldn't tell. Because I always had friends. I wasn't an outcast, anxious socially, but definitely felt constantly on edge. So that does make sense. And also comparing my family to others, because my father was an addict, alcoholic, gambling addict as well. So having that at home and, him moving out and then having friends with normal families was hard, wanting to be somebody else, wishing it was different. Why can't you just stop? Why can't we just live together? I just didn't understand the gravity of the situation at the time. So as we got older, middle school, my friends and I were pretty young, my friend group, when we started drinking alcohol. And I knew immediately there was a difference between me and everybody else, because to me it was, where are we getting it? And it was a need. We needed to find it. It needed to happen. We would be done on Saturday, and Sunday I'd be like, so where are we getting it for Friday? And I'll never forget my friend being like, we don't have to drink every weekend. And I remember being like, yeah, you're right. No, we do. Like, it's not an option. Like, I need it again, right? So I knew there was like a difference there because it wasn't just fun for me. It wasn't just fun for me. It did something more for me than it did for the average person. It allowed me to feel free and not anxious and not just consumed with myself and my feelings.
What's up, everybody? I'm Louis Ruggiero, and I'm the host of Nothing's Off the Table. Let's be real. Whether you're in recovery or not, coffee is more than just a habit. It's a ritual. That's why I've partnered with Pink Cloud Coffee. It's a brand built by people in recovery for people in recovery. It's premium, ethically sourced coffee with a purpose. This isn't just about caffeine. It's about connection, clarity, and showing up for your day with intention. And here's the best part. A portion of every sale goes toward helping someone else on their path to recovery. So every cup you drink helps someone else stay sober. Head to the link in my bio and use the code LJ at checkout to get 10% off your first 10 orders. You won't regret it. What was it like? I mean, I'm a compulsive gambler also, a drug addict. I loved OxyContin.
Same.
I loved everything, honestly. But I was also a very big gambler. And, gambling runs in my family. My dad's dad was a compulsive gambler that gambled away the house 3 times growing up. And the gambling skipped over my father because of the trauma that it caused him. Was the gambling very traumatic for you?
So when it was all going down, I didn't really realize the gravity of it. My dad would be with us and he would get calls and he would be like, I'm with my kids. And I would later find out it was bookies. I would later find out that if my mom didn't divorce him, we would lose the house. I later found out that he took a woman to the bank that looked like my mother and took out massive loan in her name. I didn't realize how down bad we were. I knew we were always financially struggling, but I didn't know the gravity of it. Yeah. So I feel like initially no, but later on, absolutely. Or like going to dad's little trailer because God forbid he ever had a normal place to live. He would buy stacks of lottery tickets and we'd sit there scratching them off and he'd be like, I'm gonna get you a Mustang for your first car and like make all these promises like when he wins the lottery, when he gets this money. And I'd be excited. I'd look forward to it. Like, oh, I want a muscle car. Like, you know what I mean? So it was like, it was a lot of letdown from it, the promises of gambling and watching him think he was always gonna win. Yeah. And
a lot of gaslighting. Yeah,
like we had a Miami Dolphins shrine set up before every football game, like cardboard cutout Dan Marino, all the trinkets. And I didn't know that was because he was a compulsive gambler until later on. So initially, no, I just knew our family life was completely disrupted. I didn't really know the ins and outs of why and how.
So interesting because I have a 17-month-old baby. I didn't stop gambling until he was around 7 months old.
Yeah.
Sorry, 10 months old. Yeah, I've a little over 7 months. And before that, it didn't really matter because I was always alone or it was just Mia, who's my fiance, and I. And like, I'd always managed to pull together money to keep the appearances up. And then, last summer, it was just like, it was so bad. It was really so bad. And besides the fact of the financial aspect of constantly being stressed, constantly not having money and, I wasn't present. I was not present for the first 10 months of my son's life. And I was not present for Mia going through postpartum and whatnot. And, gambling is super insidious. It's cunning. It's baffling. It's powerful. It's the same. It's like drugs and alcohol, but it's a little bit more different because you have the financial aspect of it, like we're snorting oxys or whatever we're doing. How long can you really last physically before people start seeing what's going on? And
it's a whole other beast.
It's a whole other beast. So I'm sorry you went through that, but do you think that also led to you, like when was the first time you drank or smoked pot?
13 or 14. But it's funny you say that. Fun fact. Not a very well-known part of my life, but in recovery, like May 21st, I had 7 years. And prior to that, obviously, but first couple of years of sobriety, I myself found myself online gambling compulsively for a couple weeks to the point I had to take out a personal loan to fix the debt I put myself in. and had to tell my husband what I did. And I couldn't believe I did it.
Yeah.
I'm like in recovery and could not believe that I had allowed that to happen, and was really like, I am my father's daughter, like in every capacity.
Yeah.
And I get it, because it's another high and a low, you know?
Yeah.
Seeking the highs and just knowing the behaviors are exactly the same. The shame and guilt afterwards is exactly parallel to how I felt as an addict.
Even for me, like losing, I'd get just as high as I was when I was winning. You know what I mean? And then every time I'd win, I'd be like, oh, I should have bet more.
Right.
I won 1,000. It should be 10,000. I win 10,000. It should be 100. Like,
coulda, woulda, shoulda. Next time will be the time that fixes all the debt I put myself in.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a, man.
I used to pray, God, if I just win this bet and you let me get back to even, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop.
The same foxhole prayers. It's insane. It's like trading one for the other.
I had this like fallacy, the gambler's fallacy, that I was going to build this crazy empire for my family from gambling. And I think the other hard part of it is like, you go on Instagram and social media and stuff, and you see all these people and like wearing nice jewelry and the casinos, and they're like, you know, betting and gambling. And it's like so glamorized. And then you add in the part that it's fucking completely legal in Jersey. It's completely legal in New York and a lot of states now. And they make it so easy. It's like literally like, boom, I just placed a bet.
Yeah, it's brutal.
And it's really preying. It's preying on people that A, don't even know that they have this gambling tick inside of them, and B, people who do have it and can't stop and can't get away from it. Like I self-excluded.
Yeah, same.
In New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, I self-excluded.
I was like, I'm in my 20s. I'm a woman, and I'm acting like a grown man at a dive bar when I go home at night. It's insane. I'm like, what on earth?
How long sober do you have now?
7 years.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's crazy.
And how old are you?
30.
Nice. I'm 31.
Oh, really?
Welcome to your 30s.
Oh, yeah. My back really hurts in my neck as I'm sitting here. Like,
I know.
I'm my father's daughter. Whoop-de-doo. But,
well, I think here's the flip side of that, right? You are your father's daughter, but at the same time, you are actively working on breaking that curse that your family has. 'Cause I'm sure your father's father or someone in your father's family also struggled with addiction.
Yeah, we're riddled.
Yeah, same. My dad's side of the family, same thing. So, you're breaking it, and that's the flip side of things. You know, I'd love to kind of talk about when you started drinking and drugging, and kind of how that escalated from what I would assume is you started drinking and smoking weed, and then it went off from there.
Yeah, sure. So drinking, like I said, knew I was different from other people because it wasn't maybe or just a fun thing. It was like a necessity. So then that kind of behavior led me to early high school, finding the party crew. And then it was every weekend for sure. And then it was smoking during the week, smoking weed, whatever. Wasn't my favorite thing to do, but it was easily accessible and it was mind and mood altering. So I'm in the usual. So being so down to drink and down to party leads you to the party crew. And that led me to like the older kids that were in the party crew, which led me to like different friend groups, which led me to the car full of people that we would go to football games on Friday nights. And they showed up with blues, the oxycodone pills. And I was always down to try something. I'll be the first one to do it. I was just rebel without a cause, impulsive to the core, thrived off of that high, but like also was like a really good student. So it was confusing. I was like in honors classes, like really good without trying too hard.
You were doing oxys in high school?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So I have the type of brain where it was like when it wasn't too difficult, I could get by and do well by accident. That's like my version of ADHD. It's like I'm just like bang tests out and do well. So I didn't have to work that hard. So in my free time, that's when we would do the drugs. So we started with the pills. And I remember it was like God himself came down and was like, here's your solution. I know you know what I'm talking about. It's like that magic fix. Like, oh, this is how I'm supposed to live life. Like, this is it. Like, this is how I'm going to do everything. Like
the first time you did oxys, you took it or ingested it, snorted it?
No, did I? No, probably took it. I don't know. No, whatever opiate, like a Perk 5, I think we started with, like, popping those, and then it was oxys, and it was snorting oxys, and then it was, we're only going to do it on the weekends. Then before you know it, literally it's daily. Yeah. So I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I didn't know the addictive aspects of it, the physical part, what it does to your brain chemistry. Didn't know.
Yeah.
And it's not anybody else's fault that I went down that road. I had choices and I made them, and that's the bed I had to lie in for a lot of years. So 4 of us in that car, I'll never forget it. I'm the only one out of the 4 that's normal today. Because that's the power of it. When I was in high school, 2009 to 13, I believe, that's when the pills were unregulated and it was flooded in the streets, where they were everywhere, where you can get a script from a doctor, that whole thing. Not me, but other people. There was it was like a free for all. So that trickled down to where I live, and the older kids that I hung out with all got it, and it went rampant. And during that era, my first detox facility, the first time I detoxed, I did it at home by myself for 2 weeks, absolutely suffered. 2 weeks later, get high again. You go through withdrawal with no medical assistance, the worst thing I ever did in my life, to just use again. Because you can get it out of your body, but that mental aspect of it doesn't go away. And I didn't know that. I thought.
The mental obsession.
Right. I thought once it's out of my system, I'm good. I'm back to the regularness of everything. Partying, drinking with my friends. No. So when I was 16, that year, I was in an adolescent detox 5 times. And people would come in, like these NORC-hardened drug addicts with recovery. They would say, like, you can't use any substances anymore. Like, you're an addict. And I was like, yeah, and I'm 16. No.
Yeah.
Right. So I would never give up drinking. So it would be a revolving door. I would go to detox. I would detox off the pills, the opiates. I'd be good to go back to my life with my friends. I would drink. I would get high. Clockwork for years. My mom during that time told my dad what was going on out of desperation, because I don't think she knew he was into oxys. I didn't know. Trying to just seeking like help from the other parent. Like, your daughter is not well, right? Yeah. Like, this is what's going on. And I remember coming out of a treatment center, or the detox rather, and him calling me saying my uncle needed pills and asked if I knew where to get them.
Oh my God.
Because my family, most of my uncles worked for the township doing like sanitation, and they were all like back injuries, surgeries, and all that stuff from that. So, uncle needs pills. I'll give you some money if you can get them. Hell yeah. The money struggle of being an addict. I'll do damn near anything. So of course I did it. Did it a few times. He kept asking. I kept providing because I knew the dealers. And eventually I was like, all right, my guy, this is not for my uncle. This is you. You need these pills.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, I got herniated discs in my neck, that whole song and dance, making excuses for why he's doing this or why he needs his medicine. And that's when we linked up as like a team of addicts. Like, my running partner was my dad for a while. He was the one that would doctor shop. I would drive him around. He didn't have a car. He always lived in like dilapidated uncle's basement that's unfinished. You know what I'm saying? Like little trailers, divorced dad apartment. I always say, because it's the truest thing ever, like a futon. I would pick him up. We would do our thing. We would scheme. Then it was always playing catch up. Dad's script would come in. We would need money, so sell some of them for the next script cost. He knew when his insurance was good for the 30s, the 15s, and it was like literally multi-state. Staten Island, I remember going to. And it was chaos. It was.
How old are you when you were doing that?
17, 18.
Wow.
Yeah. We would sell in bulk to my dealers to make the money back, or make money to get more. And then not long after, I'd be hitting the same dealers up that I just sold to and paying full price for the script we just sold them. Like, absolute insanity.
Yeah.
So we went from having the best relationship as kids, because the one thing with my dad is when I was a kid, he was a great dad. He's the person you wanted to be around. He would run a room. He was very funny, charismatic, took care of himself, good looking. Just like a guy that was like fun to be with. And that's how I knew him until my parents got divorced. And then I naturally didn't want to be around him anymore because I could see the change. He drove then he went from like really shitty cars and like shitty places to live. And I was uncomfortable being in those spaces. I wanted to be home. Like this realm is not familiar. So I separated myself. And then we link back up 6, 7, 8 years later doing drugs together. So it's like the dad relationship's completely gone. And now we're BFFs again because we're doing something
that
like
both of you are
this.
not supposed to be doing, but you have a mutual understanding of what's going on.
Right. And it's like my dad. This isn't what we're supposed to be doing. But at the time it benefited me and it benefited him. So it was a mutually beneficial relationship. There was no normalcy about it.
Are you cool with your dad now?
So when I was 18, the pharmacies linked and the doctor shopping days were over.
Yeah.
He was still able to get scripts because he'd had a medical issue, but it wasn't like it was before where you could state hop and get multiple scripts, pay cash and all that. So he got a letter from the DEA sort of saying like, we've been alerted to the multiple whatever, you can't do this anymore. And he jumped ship and moved to Arizona because his best friend lived there. And he decided, well, I gotta go because my gig's up. I don't know what else to do. This is, he ran through his 401k, lost his job, everything. He just dipped on me one day. I drove him to Newark Airport. He counted out pills for me. I'll be back in 6 months. I'll be back. I just gotta get my stuff together, blah, blah, blah. That was when I was 18. I'm 30 years old. I haven't seen him since. And every single time we talk on the phone, he's coming home. He doesn't do that stuff anymore, but I hear it in his voice. Song doesn't take accountability.
Yeah.
In full blown denial of what even happened. Just says, it's my mom's fault because of child support, just very delusional.
Yeah.
Every now and then I'll entertain the conversation and I literally have to be like, it's not my business. Like we'll start with the excuses, oh, I can't come because mom has me on child support. I'm 30 years old. My mom just started getting child support again because he got disability. But like he doesn't realize what him not paying child support did to us and my mom. So it's crazy. It's like, he's not the same person. He's gone. You know what I mean? I don't even think he has mental capacity to make decisions. I've had opportunities where I've offered to, few and far between, but I'll fly you here, get you treatment, get you in a halfway house. All you have to do is say yes. You have grandchildren you've never met.
Yeah.
He can't spell my daughter's name. He will ask me how old they are, ask me my husband's name, ask me my little one's name. It's insane. Like, this is my dad, you know?
I think as sad as that is, for you being in recovery, you also have the understanding that like he's a sick and suffering man.
Right.
And when I'm in addiction, it's like, it's everyone else's fault. It's every excuse in the book. There's no accountability taken because I don't have the capacity to look at what I've done. I only have the capacity to blame it on everybody else. I'm really sorry you went through that.
No.
But sitting here 7 years sober, you've obviously have used that to fuel your recovery in aspects, I'm sure. And, from that experience, you could have gone the other way also.
Right. And it did for a lot of years. My dad leaving and taking the drugs didn't stop me from taking the drugs. I just found other ways. The pullback of the pharmacies led to heroin use. The, dealers would be out of pills. Like it wasn't the same. And they picked up heroin instead. So I picked up heroin instead, snorting the bags. It was too many. So it turned to IV use.
Yeah.
It turned to coke and a needle. It turned to everything. It turned to rehabs. You know what I mean?
I feel like there's there's a line that we cross when we go from snorting oxys to snorting heroin to IV heroin use. When the first time you shot dope, like were you like, I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm doing it anyways? Or were you just like, I'm doing it?
Oh, absolutely. It's like just this once. There was that stop button was long gone at that point. And if somebody told me this was going to work better than the prior thing, I'm in. The IV use really just accelerated the downfall. I could rock longer with just doing pills or snorting something, but I couldn't hang on as long once it was IV use.
What was it like the first time you shot heroin?
Sort of like doing pills again for the first time, getting that opiate high for the first time, like, this is it again, that kind of thing is such a blur. Somebody else did it for me. It was just, okay, now how do we figure this out? Because this is what we're doing now.
Yeah.
I know I can't do this forever, but for right now, this is what I'm doing. Just the things we tell ourselves to get by. But doing that, accelerated things, overdoses, different states to get clean. It was hell on earth. And the lengths I would go to just got more intense.
How many times did you overdose?
4.
Narcan?
Yeah. I was so lucky I was never alone. One of them, I had just switched seats with my boyfriend driving, let him drive, and I OD'd in the middle of a local highway and woke up getting CPR, ironically, from a nurse. Another time I was in my ex-boyfriend's basement, woke up to cops I went to high school with over me, giving me CPR. It was insanity. You never think you're going to do I never thought I was going to OD every time I OD'd.
Yeah.
I got so lucky so many times. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's really crazy. I like, it's so scary to think about our young kids and kind of, they're going to get to an age where they obviously experiment. And when we were kids, there wasn't fentanyl and everything.
Right.
You know, it was just what you got is what you got. And now there's just fentanyl and everything. It's like such a, maybe because I'm in recovery and I'm a former addict, but like I fear my kid trying a pill at a party in high school or college, just like out of pure curiosity and friends doing it or whatever, because that's kind of how it starts. It doesn't, we don't just wake up and start hanging out with dope fiends. You know, it's like all of you are curious, and then some get more curious quicker than we do. And then they bring that to us and we're like, oh shit, like fucking Olivia's doing it. You know, let me try it. It can't be that bad.
No, I wish people understood. Like, I wasn't born a heroin addict with a needle in my arm. I was regular, a human being with feelings. And this drives me insane. It's like it was a group of bad choices that led to it. But like, there's a reason why I made those bad choices. Lack of coping skills, whatever it was. Something was in my brain that was not the same as somebody else. I mean, if you're sitting at home listening and you're like, well, why even do it? It's like, no shit.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sherlock.
Yeah.
No drug addicts, the homeless people on the street that are all strung out, didn't start off just pieces of shit that wanted to put drugs in their body. That's not how it happens. So it's important. I mean, we suck when we're using, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't, just because I was like sick mentally at the time doesn't mean we get a pass.
Yeah.
But also there's compassion we have to have, because these people aren't just scum of the earth. It's a thing. It happens. There's progression, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And like when we're in it as an addict, we don't give a shit about the consequences, what's happening to mom, what's happening to dad, to the dog, to this person. It's like, we are just, my 24 hours in my day are conceited of what can I do to get high? When am I going to get high? How much money do I need to get high? And then once I get high is when am I getting high again?
Right.
You know? And I don't think people understand not only the mental obsession, but the mental prison. And listen, with dope, it's physical prison.
Right.
It's a physical prison. Like the opiate withdrawals are some of the most painful withdrawals, right? I've been through benzo withdrawals, and you know, you could have a seizure and die. I'd rather go through a benzo withdrawal again than go through opiate withdrawals. And I don't think people understand that prison that we're in. And then once you're hooked on those opiates, it's I would say, what would you say? I'd say maybe 50% don't even make it, if not more.
I think it's bigger than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you go to college?
I went to college later in the game.
Got it. Once you got sober.
Yeah.
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 So those years between high school and when you got sober, were you just, it was just.
Well, one of the things I was doing was check fraud from my mother. Sorry, Mom. Stealing checks, cashing them. She was friends with some cops in town. They were on to me. It was like a whole thing. And I went to a different town to cash a check, and I walk out to one of the detectives from my town catching me. And then they got me because I was resisted long-term treatment. Not even long-term, a month. I only did detox.
Yeah.
Like, I only need detox. I'm not going to a rehab. And he was like, gotcha, it's federal charges or you're going away. So I wasn't even graduating high school yet. It was like the end of the year. And I went to Connecticut for rehab. From there, I went to a halfway house in Florida. From there, I went back to Connecticut for rehab. From there, I went to a Connecticut halfway house, back to Florida. Literally, I was like a jet setter, a junkie jet setter with no money. Oh, God. And I was so grateful to have insurance. A lot of people don't. But anyway, went back to Florida, halfway there, built a life a little bit, got pregnant with my boyfriend at 21. Can you tell I make great decisions? From there, moved to New York. And then when my daughter was a month old, he went into full-blown addiction again. And my mom let me come home, thank God, because I don't even know what I would have done. I was literally lost. And then I've been in Jersey ever since. So it was years of chaos, halfway houses, going to new lengths in Florida. Florida's its own animal.
Yeah.
Using out there is something insane. So it was hell for years. I showed up to detox. I still have my detox photo from one of my Florida stints, and I look like a cracked out Macaulay Culkin. Not to be funny, but I literally do. They made my mom fly out at one point saying, like, you need to get here. She's going to die, because I was going to leave a rehab, and she sold my car so I couldn't. Like, it was chaos and hell, and I kept doing it over and over again, ending up with infections from using and getting in trouble and just hating myself and what I was doing, but was so stuck and resistant to the people that were trying to help.
So you have a baby, 21 years old. You didn't get sober until you were 23?
24, I think it was. I wasn't an addict full blown when I had my daughter.
Yeah.
It was like I had almost a year used for a day, literally. Then I would get 9 months again, used for 5 days. It wasn't, I didn't have a daughter in full blown addiction. It was like tiny stints. So that length of recovery wasn't there at that point. It was small relapses. But the damage I could do in 5 days is pretty impressive.
They say, like, what do they say? They say, like, trust takes years to build, but it could be gone in a second or something like that. And I really relate to that because I'm 31. I got a little over 2.5 years.
Nice.
I've been trying to get sober since I was 18.
Wow.
I've testified in a murder trial against my ex-best friend who confessed the murder to me. Thank God I was not there. I've lost friends in addiction.
Oh, yeah.
And I was sober. I got sober at 18, 19, 20. I'm getting arrested. They go do this year-long program, go to AA meetings. I remember my first AA meeting. I came home. My dad was like, all right, so what'd you think? And I was like, This lady at the end of the meeting, she said, if you want what we have, you'll go to any lengths to find it. And I remember saying to my dad, I was like, I thought it was perfect. I don't want anything these fucking people have. Like, I'm never going back again. Oh, man. And that message of recovery and hope, like, it didn't stick. I couldn't grab it. I couldn't understand. And then I did the geographical thing also. In 2017, I went out to Arizona for treatment. And then they shipped me out to LA for sober living. And
it's LA, it's California or Florida.
I remember my mom was like, the therapist at the treatment center was like, yeah, you're going to Cali. You're not going back to New York. I call her mom. Like, I'm not going to Cali. Fuck this. I'm coming home. I got to get a job. She's like, how much money do you have in your bank account? I'm like, I don't know, like $22. She's like, you're going wherever the fuck I tell you you're going. Yeah. Or you can figure it out on your own.
I love the non-enabling by mom.
Listen, she's fucking enabled me without knowing she was enabling me.
No,
like,
same.
Just trying to save me, just trying to help me.
Absolutely. That's enabling is the number one killer of addicts. I stand by my opinion.
I agree with you. And it's also the flip side of it though, is that when we are manipulating them to enable us, Correct. They don't know any better because we're like, Mom, I swear I'm done. Mom, I swear this is the last time.
He wouldn't do that to me.
Correct.
But they don't understand the full thing. Like your families need education, therapy, etc., professionals because
Correct.
It's
Correct. And so I went out to LA. I was sober for a little over a year. Then I was in and out. And then 2.5 years ago, I finally was like, all right, I've done it. I don't do everything that's asked of me. Mm-hmm. I'm going back. I got fired from a job. I was so depressed. I was like, I can't keep living like this anymore. I just can't do it. Went back to LA where all my sober friends were, got a new sponsor. And I was like, whatever you tell me to do, I'm going to do. Yeah. You tell me to jump off that bridge, I'll fucking jump. Yeah. Like I was so desperate. But the insanity of like how I could burn things down so quickly after constantly building my life back up to this point was torture.
And you can't believe that you did it again. I know for me, it's like, I cannot believe I did this again. Cause I would have taken a polygraph that I'm never going to do this again. I'm not lying.
Liv, all the times where you would relapse for like a day or a couple of days or whatever, did you enjoy those highs? Cause I know I never did.
No.
You're like, fuck, like this is like, I know this is not going to last.
One thing I always say to people, it's like, you're never going to regret not using.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was huge on replacing things. So it's like, I didn't have a drug. I needed something else. And that was men. And I found myself in a very narcissistic, toxic relationship with a guy that didn't want to stay clean. And that's those couple of years where I had the stints, right? Because I was playing Captain Save an Addict. Couldn't because I cannot control somebody else. But I was so wrapped up in him that I just needed to fix him. But that's where I would find myself falling too. Yeah. And eventually it got so bad that I really went off the deep end for a good 5 days where it was completed. Ended in a restraining order and what I thought was the worst thing in my absolute life. So now I ended up in a hospital. So in 5 days I managed to get myself an infection and OD'd and couldn't believe that I did this again. I have a daughter. I had gotten into college at that point. It's like, how did I get here? So he was gone forever and my drugs by choice. Yeah. There was no pain greater than doing that and then having a kid at home. And everything just came to such a head. And I was so glad that I had built relationships with other people, other women in recovery that literally saved my ass because I had enough experience with recovery and stories and knowing it was possible. And for once I finally said, I am gonna just sit in my shit until I get to that point. Yeah. And made the choice to like really just suffer. I mean, I always tell people too, like it sucks. It's hell on earth. Yeah. And then it goes away. Yeah.
The obsession is lifted.
Right. Yeah. It's insane.
I feel people don't understand that relapse is, I'd say 9 times out of 10 necessary for addicts in order for them to get that long-term sobriety. Yeah.
It's like not necessary. I feel like it doesn't have to happen, but I know what you're saying because I know for me it had to happen.
Yeah, me too.
I just feel like it's dicey because somebody could be like, well, I guess I'm going to get high again because these people did it 7 times. But yeah, I know what you're saying 100%.
I'm saying it more along the lines of like, I always struggled with the idea of I just want to be normal and I think I can just drink or I think I can, or I know I can't drink, but I know, but I think I can just smoke pot normally. And it always led back to the drink, which always led back to the drugs.
Right. Absolutely.
And, I don't know. I had someone on the podcast recently, 17 years sober.
Wow.
IV heroin addict. And he's been sober since the first time he tried to get sober.
Wow. Rare.
Statistically
speaking, last time I checked, 7 rehabs for a heroin addict.
Yeah.
And nowadays, how many people make it that far with what's in drugs?
Probably less than 10%.
Yeah.
Probably less than 10% because, you know, the fentanyl is just rampant and it's fucking scary out there. But I think the most important part is you have 7 years sober. Mm-hmm. Do you go to meetings? Do you work steps? What's your life in recovery like, and kind of what stuck this time where you've been able to, I feel like you've crossed the line now. You're in recovery. I feel like it'd be very, very, very hard for you to go back out and use again.
Absolutely. But I do know that I am capable of becoming that person again.
Yeah.
With one decision.
Yeah.
Or destroying my life in other ways. Like I told you in the middle of 7 years of what I did with gambling or like toxic behaviors or just not doing the right thing. So I know I'm still capable of being a full-blown addict. But what I do now, I sort of can't lie to myself anymore. You know, I have a lot of friends with recovery. I have a lot of people in my life. I try to help other people in any capacity I can. Working in the hospital, I try to treat the addict. Like I always wanted to be treated in the hospital because I always had a really hard time seeking help because of the judgment. So I try to give back in different ways now. I used to be big into meetings. I'm not as much anymore. I don't like saying that because I don't want to give people any bad ideas. It's just my story. But I'm still in touch with all of those people and still, I hold myself accountable to a fault.
Yeah.
If I'm being an asshole, I'm the first one that's going to know it. If I'm doing something wrong, I know it. I can't lie to myself or other people really. I try to live the best I can. And like I said, give back in other ways.
And is your husband in recovery?
Yeah. So, very on par with me as a person. I met him in a meeting. I think we both had almost 90 days. Oh dear God. Literally don't do it. It's not a good idea. It's not going to work out. Don't try it. God, what a crazy, whatever. He hasn't used since. I haven't used since. Got lucky. Okay. It was a total fluke. I hate saying that because I feel like it's just because it's also gone the other way for me where I met the other guy in the meeting and that destroyed my life. You know what I'm saying? I don't follow rules clearly because they say don't get into a relationship for the first year. Oh God. So yeah, I'm not the poster child for like recovery. I'm not perfect. I don't do everything right, but I do try my best to be good to other people that are down bad or share my story because I never ever thought I would have any semblance of a normal life, truly. So
I don't think anybody's perfect in recovery or out of recovery, whether you're a normie, and a normie for people who don't know what a normie is someone who's able to drink and do drugs in moderation without it burning down their lives.
What a concept.
Listen, I had 11 months sober from drugs and alcohol. And I had 11 months without gambling. And I wasn't going to Gamblers Anonymous. I was just going to AA. I was trying to solve the gambling, the AA, all in the same room. And my fiance and I went on a baby moon. She was 10 months pregnant. And I was like, I'm going to fucking gamble. We're in Mexico. I was like, let me text the bookie, open up my account. Yeah, let me enjoy a little bit. And then the next from when she was 11 months pregnant all the way through until he was 10 months old, I gambled like an animal. And if I did not have her and my son, I would have drank in December.
No,
this past December, I would have drank. I was in so much pain.
Yeah.
So much financial disarray. But I think the accountability part was like, okay, like this is really bad. I can't take this anymore. I need to get some help. Right. And I actually owed a friend money and he called me and he said to me, he was like, I know you're not drinking and drugging, but I know you're fucking gambling. And if you don't get honest with me right fucking now, I'm going to fucking throw you in prison. Something came over me where I was finally just like, oh,
yeah,
I'm fucking done.
Yeah.
And I just got honest. And that started my journey into Gamblers Anonymous, which, by the way, I went to in 2016, and I went to 2 meetings, and I thought they were all fucking losers. And I said to them, if I just win, I don't have to come here.
Right.
And now I show up 9 years later and it's all the same people.
Yeah.
With 9 more years of recovery and beautiful lives. And, you know, even in AA, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, progress, not perfection.
Right. Absolutely.
What do you think about, like, my fiance and I talk about how we're going to tell our son why daddy doesn't drink or why daddy doesn't do certain things.
Right.
What are you and your husband going to tell your kids once that question starts popping up, if it already has?
Full-blown honesty.
Even if they're like 8 years old?
Full-blown honesty.
Wow.
My daughter's 9. She hasn't asked yet. But I think it's important. But I also don't think it matters.
Yeah.
My brother didn't drink till he was 21. It's completely opposite of me.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the bug. I don't even know. I hate calling it the bug. I feel like an old man. But he doesn't have that, whatever. If one of my kids has that thing, I don't think a scary story is going to matter. Scary story never scared me.
Yeah, me neither.
So I think full-blown honesty, I don't think I'm going to scare them out of doing anything, but I'm down to be full-blown honest. This is, because my other, you know, I have 2 daughters with 2 different fathers, and both fathers are addicts. So we're not batting real well right now. But I can do the best I can as far as raising them without exposing them to things. And I will be honest, 100%.
Yeah. I feel like the same. I feel if he asks when he's like, the only difference between us is Mia is a normie. She's a civilian.
Civilian.
So,
dear God.
So like when we're at dinner, like she'll have a glass of red wine or something. And eventually he's gonna be like, why does mommy drink a glass of red wine, but daddy doesn't? I feel like depending on the age, if he's young, I'm going to just tell him like, oh, daddy gets really sick if he drinks that, you know? And then in high school, my dad's family is all addicts, all of them. And I never got that talk until I was in college, and it was fucking
right.
I'd already experienced the relief of Xanax, Oxys, Coke, fucking you name it. So I was like, I don't give a fuck. Like this just feels so good.
Yeah. No, it's like, I think destigmatizing it is everything.
Yes.
Like telling your kids, like, some people ingest alcohol and now that all they want to do is drink alcohol. There's something in our brains that if you have that thing in your brain, this is the reaction you're going to have. And if that happens, you need to tell somebody, because you're not in trouble and you're not a bad person, but some people have this thing. So I feel like destigmatizing it is like the ask for help thing, because stigma is just huge, and I feel like is another huge preventer of people getting better. But I would want my kid to tell me, because I don't hate on addicts. You know what I mean? Like I get it, but also that comes with the responsibility to get help.
Do you feel like now, when your kids are in high school and stuff, are you going to have an open line of communication? Like, my parents were not, you're not allowed to drink. You're not allowed to smoke pot. Like, I'm in fucking high school. They obviously know I'm drinking beers and I'm trying to smoke weed. And I felt like that made me hide, because I was going to do it anyways.
Yeah.
I was like you, as a rebel. Like, I'm going to do it anyways. Right. Yeah. And then I had friends whose dad, parents were like, listen, I know you guys are going to do it. Come over and drink and smoke pot here, because at least I can monitor the situation and make sure that everybody's okay.
Won't be my house.
No,
but
it won't be my house
legally,
either.
Absolutely not. I get what you're saying, because I don't want that either. I think I'm going to see how it is when it comes. But I agree with you. You can't be like, absolutely not, because let's be realistic.
Yeah. Like I just want them to be able to be honest with me and just like say, yeah, daddy, I was at my friend's house. We drank beers and I smoked pot and it was fine. Like, okay, cool.
Right. Yeah. Like monitoring the situation. It's hard. It's hard and it's scary just because, you know, all walks of life, people that grew up with money, people that grew up poor, it doesn't matter. It could happen to anybody.
Yeah, I agree. The same thing. So, you know.
Yeah, it's crazy. Do you still envy? So the first few years of sobriety, like a good chunk of it, maybe 5 years, I still envy people that could drink. Are you still in that space?
No,
At all?
No, because I was in that space for from fucking 2013 until 2023. I was in that space. And whenever I was in that space, I would just go out and do it.
Right.
You know?
Same.
And when I finally got sober 2.5 years ago, there was no more reservations. There was no more, I wish. There was no more, I think. It was like, I'm fucking done. This does not work at all.
Yeah.
Like every time I burn my life down, what the fuck is going on here?
I know.
What the fuck is going on here? And I think I come from a good family. I'm fucking super privileged. I'm super spoiled. The enabling, the bailouts were, I could write a book of bailouts that I've had.
Yeah.
I think that kind of extended my addiction for a while, but I also feel like that the last time before I got sober, I had lost a job that like I got on my own. That I worked really hard to establish myself in.
So that hurt extra bad.
And I was just so tired and so done.
Isn't it funny how we think people that drink are normal? Because you said it a couple times. And I was like, oh my God, it's crazy we say that. Like people, I wish I could be normal. And it like all revolves around people that could successfully use substances. And that's why we are the way we are and they are not. Because normal people aren't like, oh, only normal people could drink alcohol. It's like alcohol's not that serious to normal people. Do you know what I'm saying? Like my best friend and I always joke, she doesn't drink, but she's not an addict. And I'm always like, this is why we're different. Because if I was you, I would drink. But that's, you know what I mean?
You know what bothers me sometimes? When me and I go to dinner and she has a glass of wine and she doesn't finish the glass of wine. And I'm like looking at her, I'm like, there's like this much left of red wine. I'm like looking at it. I'm like, you gonna finish that? She's like, no, I don't really want it. I'm like, what's wrong with you?
Right.
Like,
but that's the difference in the brain. Cause we see it like that of like, you're not, drink it quicker.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
Or like get the drink that has the most alcohol in it. But that's why we're wired the way we are.
All right. So what, if you could give a girl or a guy who's watching right now any piece of advice on sobriety, on being a mother, what would it be?
Damn.
Yeah, deep. I want you to get deep on this. Dig deep.
Like someone that's using or like what's...
Someone right now who's using, who's struggling. What would you tell them?
You're worth the work to get better because I didn't get that at the time. Man, I just wish I could go back in time. It's crazy because it's hard to give advice, right? Because I got a lot of advice, great advice, but it was really hard to understand that it was real and actually a possibility. If you would have told me then that I would be where I'm at now, I would have never believed it. Like to think the obsession to use anything would be gone or to be able to be around alcohol, drugs and just not even be fazed is crazy.
Yeah.
So I feel like my advice is just like, you just have to hold on. It's going to suck. You cannot expect anything different. Expect the absolute worst. But as long as you're not using, things will happen that'll blow your mind. Like the blessings of just doing the right thing is unbelievable. And you will never regret not using. Like I said earlier, it's really hard for me to give advice because I just know how just got to give yourself a chance. It gets better, but not without suffering. It's just walk through it. And then one day it's not everything you think about anymore. It's not the worst thing in the world anymore. It doesn't hurt like absolute hell anymore, but it takes time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely does. Well,
yeah.
Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you.
I appreciate you driving all the way from the dirty Jersey.
Oh, Thanks.
And look forward to kind of seeing where your life goes and staying connected.
Thank you.
Thanks, Liv.
Happy to be here.